I previously talked about how several levels from LEGO Star Wars the video game were modified or added back in when it came to remastering the game for LEGO Star Wars the Complete Saga, but did you know that there's another version of all of these? Originally, LEGO Star Wars the video game was intended to have a lot more vehicle levels, but due to a lack of development time as well as several other issues, many of them ended up being cut. The first example of this is in the Phantom Menace, which would have adapted the attack on the droid control ship. It'd have started with Anakin making his way towards the fleet while avoiding Volta droids and then attacking the outside hull before making his way into the hangar. You would then need to destroy the ship's core and make your escape. This one ended up being removed simply to even out the level count per film, as otherwise episode 1 would have had 7 levels instead of the usual 6. Thankfully, it would later go on to be included in the Complete Saga as a bonus level, although with the more puzzle-focused vehicle gameplay that LEGO Star Wars 2 the original trilogy introduced. Moving on to Attack of the Clones is where we get a bunch of cut content. An early version of Bounty Hunter Pursuit had the camera closely following behind the speeder instead of offering an overhead view. Here, you would have had to avoid buildings as well as incoming traffic while chasing down Zam Wesell to Coruscant. However, supporting 2-player gameplay would have required a second speeder, and Lucasfilm wasn't comfortable with major lore changes for the first game, leading to its removal from the final release. Just 2 years later, it would go on to be included in the Complete Saga as a regular level. Next up is a level based on the fight between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Jango Fett in Geonosis Asteroid Field, which we unfortunately don't have any footage for. The only information we do have is a now deleted Discord message explaining it was cut again due to not being able to have a second ship without breaking canon. Lastly for this chapter, Gunship Cavalry originally also featured a different angle. In this case, the closer view combined with the twisty movement felt confusing to the team, especially when 2 players were on screen, leading to the previously mentioned overhead view being instead used for the final release. The attack of the core ship would have also been extended, with different sections for destroying structures, then hard cell transports, before finally destroying the core ship's antennas and then escaping the ensuing sandstorm. Finally, we get to Revenge of the Sith, which would have had an extended Grievous encounter. Rather than simply surprising him on his morning walk, you'd actually get to chase his wheel bike while riding Boga. You'd climb on the cliffs of Utapau and go through various structures while trying to damage his vehicle. You'd then go through an underground section before the level ended. Again, the lack of a second controllable entity that works in canon is what caused this one to be cut. While most of these levels would later go on to be included in either LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga or LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, usually with changes that break canon, Boga Chase has yet to have been realized, making it the only level that is truly lost. At least you still get to see a few Viractals in the Utapau open world.